This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. Red Fawn Fallis, the Native woman accused of firing a gun at officers in North Dakota during a demonstration against the Dakota Access Pipeline, was sentenced Wednesday to 57 months in federal prison following a January plea agreement. She faced up to 10 years for 2 charges and has been incarcerated since October 2016. The judge recommended she serve time in Phoenix or Tucson to be around other Native women. In a press release, the Water Protector Legal Collective states she's the second person arrested at Standing Rock to be sentenced to a substantial prison term, and the second of 5 federal cases the Legal Collective is working to close. According to the legal group, there have been more than 800 state criminal cases, and as of June, more than 150 are ongoing. A group of Native youth are credited with starting the No DAPL movement in the summer of 2016 to protect water and the environment, which led to months of activity and camps in North Dakota. The pipeline has been operating for a year. The CBC reports an Indigenous prayer camp has been set up near the U.S.-Canada border. People are opposing the Enbridge Line 3 project, which will replace more than 1,000 miles with new pipeline and facilities in both countries. Those at the Spirit of the Buffalo camp in Manitoba want to stop construction, which is reportedly underway in 2 provinces and expected to start soon in Manitoba. Opposition of the project includes Native groups concerned about environmental and cultural resources. Supporters and company officials say the pipeline is decades old and needs to be replaced. The camp is about 60 miles south of Winnipeg. A new report explores how Native Americans are perceived in the United States. As Eric Tigadoff reports, one of the project leaders believes it's the largest public opinion research project about Native Americans.
Crystal Echohawk says the goal of the report, Reclaiming Native Truth, is to find out about the dominant narratives and perceptions of Native people from a diverse group of Americans. It includes focus groups spanning 11 states and every race. Echohawk says toxic and contradictory stereotypes about Native Americans persist, such as ideas that they're dependent on the government, but also flush with casino money.
What we actually found was the biggest barrier that Native Americans face is invisibility and erasure. And the fact that you don't see Native peoples in the media, you don't see them on TV and film. And in fact, almost 50% of K-12 schools in the United States don't teach about Native Americans past 1890.
Nearly 3/4 of respondents says schools need to make curriculum changes to Native American culture and history. Echohawk praises Montana's work on this front. She hopes the report also acts as a roadmap to create more positive perceptions of Native Americans. Echohawk Consulting partnered with First Nations Development Institute on the project. So many negative stereotypes have a direct effect on Native people's well-being, Echohawk says. That's especially important in Montana. Not only does the state have the country's highest suicide rate, but it is highest among Native Americans. Echohawk says suicide is one of the biggest issues Native American communities face, and it's an especially big problem among youth.
When we first started this project, we actually were challenged by a number of Native American youth who came and spoke to the leaders of the project and said, "We need you to do this for us. We're counting on you." So it's really that sense of a responsibility to our children that was a big driver.
Echohawk hopes the report can begin a healing process for communities.
This is really about how do we see one another first and foremost as human beings and not stereotypes and caricatures. And that applies to all different types of people in society. And I think there's a longing right now for people wanting to get out of this sort of toxicity.
I'm Eric Tegedoff.
Horse riders are traveling through several Navajo communities this week, making their way to the Navajo Nation capital. The horse ride is an annual tradition honoring past leaders who rode on horseback or in wagons from their homes to tribal council meetings. Along the way, they would visit with community members to take their concerns and advocate for them at council sessions. The tribal council will welcome the riders Monday in Window Rock, Arizona. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation. Funding is by Odawi Law Group, provider of Indian law solutions, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite System.
Support by the American Indian Tourism Conference, providing technical resources and education to advance and develop tourism programs in Indian country. Early bird registration ends July 31st at AITC2018.com. Support by Humboldt State University. We know what it means to be rooted in community. You can get your master's degree and amplify your voice without leaving your community. Online program applications accepted from August 1st to 31st at humboldt.edu/socialwork.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.